Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel Dykes. I am a labor and delivery nurse by day, and all the other times I'm pretty much reading, as evidenced by my bookshelf and the other one that you can't see on both sides. So this is my favorite video of the year because I like to go through my physical TBR of what I would love to read this year. If I could get through all these, I could read all these books, but I will probably not, because I will find book club books or audiobooks, etc. to read instead, or I'll buy more. I would love to prioritize the books that were on my TBR all year last year as well, and maybe a little before. So there are books that I probably need to either read or unhaul. And that's a fact. But tonight we are I have them loosely sorted into genres. I was gonna try to do this just holding them up, and that did not work out. There's too much. It was chaos. So starting fresh. So I have my bubbly here. And I've poured myself a glass because it is New Year's Eve right now. And while at this time it is 9:30, I am trying to stay awake for not necessarily the ball drop, and I don't really have to stay up, but I'm trying to complete some things for the end of the year. So yeah, I was going through like all of the things that I've done this year. Like I started a New Year's journal where you say like last year, and then you like list off all the things you did last year, and I thought, oh, that'll be easy. I'll just do it on one page. I haven't done that much. 3 pages later. So you don't realize what you did in a year until you write it all down. So that was really fun. I think I'm going to do that hopefully forever now. So if you want that idea too, it was really fun. Made me feel really grateful for this year. And one of the things that I've done is read 205 books. And that is if I go downstairs and finish the book that I'm currently reading. There's 200 pages left, but it's like a smutty holiday romance. So I should be able to get it done. That's the next step. But now we're going to go through the books I want to read next year. So, okay, super loose genres. So like thriller, mystery, YA. We've got 2 Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So Games Untold is a continuation of the Inheritance Games, but this is not like the next book in the story. It's like a bunch of short stories. So that's why I haven't read it quite yet. It's called an Inheritance Games Collection. So it is not the continuation of the last book I read. I'm sure it will still be good. I'm going to read it. It's just, I have not read it, even though it came out in, I think, November, because of the style that it is. Maybe it came out in December. And then this is The Natural. So this is her other series that I know nothing about and have not read. But I really like her writing in the Inheritance Games, and my sister has read this book and said it was good. So this says, cold cases are about to get hot. 17-year-old Cassie Hobbs is a natural at reading people. And then the FBI comes knocking. So it's giving off, what's it called? My other series that I love so much. I don't know, The Box in the Woods. You guys know that one? It's like solid colored covers. I don't know. It's by Maureen Johnson. That series. That's the vibe it's giving off. So hopefully it's just as good. And then my books that I honestly don't know what they're about, so I can't really put them in a spot. So Dreadful by Caitlin Rosakis. I bought this like on a whim at Barnes & Noble in like September, and then just didn't get to it in October. So this says, it's bad enough waking up in a half-destroyed evil wizard's workshop with no eyebrows, no memories, and no idea how long you have before the dreadlord, whomever shows up to murder you. It's worse when you realize it's you. And then I have Vicious by V.E. Schwab. And Victoria Schwab or V.E. Schwab, I like all her writing because she's like kind of like speculative fiction, like spooky. So people started out as roommates and they have near-death experiences about supernatural events. So, welcome to my TBR video. I'm excited, but I also have these books I have no idea what they're about, and I'm reading them totally on reputation, which is fun, honestly. All right, so a little romance. I have Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. And it says, a hot one-night stand and unexpected pregnancy lead a young woman to someone she can depend on. This book has been all over the TikToks and the book talks, and so that's why I picked it up. I'm excited. I have another Lucy Score. So I enjoyed the Knock 'Em Out series, like off and on. Like some were great, some were meh. I don't know why she has to do like a 400, 500 page romance every time, but they're good. So I'm willing to read this one, which, yeah. Do you really have to know much about a romance to read it? Not really. And then I super randomly bought a second book in a series. So I need to get the first book. That's why I haven't read this, because it's by Christina Lauren. Love them. I've heard really good things about this series. So yeah, I just need to get Sweet Filthy Boy first. And the jingles that you're hearing, you guessed it. It's Mabel May. Hi, baby. Hi. Okay. Okay, lay down. Thank you. Another series that I've heard great things about is Magnolia Parks. So the first two books. I don't love these covers, but I'm gonna give them a little dabble. So Magnolia Parks is a person, apparently. Beautiful, affluent, self-involved, and mildly neurotic London socialite. Look, that's all I need to know. I don't know if you know this, but The Royals is one of my favorite TV shows ever. British socialites. I'm in. I'll keep you posted. Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. So this is a Tom and Boys novel. So I don't know if they're a series or just like standalones. But I'm pretty sure this is the first one. So there's someone who plays rugby, and there's this shy new girl at Tom in college, okay? I've heard it's good. Enough said. When things like appear multiple times on lists, you got my attention. I will not read an unknown book, though. Like, I like to know that at least two people like it that I respect, you know? Then I have Five Brothers by Penelope Douglas. If you've been here, you know about Credence, you know about Birthday Girl. They're spicy. Then I have, let's see, Romantasy? Is that? Okay. I can't vouch for all of these. I don't know 100% that they're Romantasy, but this is where I think they go. So the Hurricane Wars, I've heard good and bad things about this, so I'm a little bit nervous now, but look how beautiful this book is. Ooh, the moons. So this says, all Taliesin has ever known as the Hurricane Wars. She found her family among the soldiers who fight for freedom. And then, yeah, they got to try to end the war. With magic, too. So it's a debut fantasy romance trilogy set in a Southeast Asia-inspired world ravaged by storms. And I know that the third one either just came out or is just coming out, but there you go. First of the Romantasy. My piles are too big. There's too many books. I have Light Lark, which unfortunately this has been on my TBR for a while. I wish I could just look at books and take in all their words, but alas, it takes me a while to read. So this says, every 100 years, the island of Light Lark appears for only 100 days to host a deadly game where the rulers of 6 realms fight to break their curses and win unparalleled power. My sister has read this and said it was good. I've heard the first one's good, the second one's not amazing, so we'll see. Then I have 10,000 Stitches. This is I guess I don't know if it's a sequel or if it's just in the same world as Half a Soul, but I loved Half a Soul so much. It was like quirky Jane Austen with fairies. So 10,000 Stitches, pretty sure it's going to be amazing. And my sister Erin read it and reviewed it well. So I just bought this for myself because it was on my Christmas list and no one bought it. So I bought it for myself. And I don't know if this one fits in here. I don't know what to do with Greek mythology, you know? But this is my August of 2024 book that I have not read yet from Book of the Month. So Hera, I'm going to guess it's about the goddess Hera, okay? I have seen a lot about Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. I know nothing about it. So Phantasma only has 2 rules: stay alive and don't fall in love. So, I guess it's a game. Okay, here we go. Phantasma is a competition where contestants rarely escape alive and the victor is granted a single wish. I'm really into the skull and black covers right now, you know? They seem to be very popular. All right, then I've heard a lot of good things about Trial of the Sun Queen. Not like out in the like Barnes and Noble Goodreads world, but on the TikToks and the book talks and the Instagram reels. I've heard that this is good, and I love romantasy. So this says 10 women, a deadly contest. Only one can win the Sun King's heart. That sounds good. And I've heard great things about this. Quicksilver by Callie Hart. Again, I know nothing about it. But I know that people have been like losing their minds about it. So there's magic, and there's a boy and a girl. Don't touch the sword, do not turn the key, do not open the gate, is what the back says. It's a little wordy, it seems like, but excited about that. Filthy Rich Fae. This is by Geneva Lee. Yeah, so this has something to do with like crime and fae, and I just heard it was smutty and good. This is recommended by Beach Reads and Bubbly, and she sounded like she had a great time with it, and I want to have a great time too. So, got that one. And I bought The Games Gods Play. I cannot wait to peel this sticker off. I normally do it when I've read it, or like when I'm reading it. I pick at it while I read it, and it's super satisfying. I wish they didn't put stickers on things. Like, why? Why do you have to? So this is, I think it's like a fight to the death, but you're fighting for the gods. The gods love to play with us mortals, and every 100 years we let them. And then I have, I don't know, are we calling this maybe like historical fiction? So The Great Divide, this is about like the building of the Panama Canal. This, I feel like I bought this time last year, so I need to read this year. But isn't it the most beautiful cover? Like, it's so bright. And I've heard really good things about it. And I'm interested in the Panama Canal. I remember learning about it in school. It seems, I don't know. The Personal Librarian. This is, again, another book I've had on my... I don't reach for historical fiction very quickly, so unfortunately they stay on my TBR for a while. So this is about J.P. Morgan's personal librarian, Bella DaCosta, a Black American that was passing as a white woman. So like I know it's going to be a good story, I'm just not ready to read it, you know? This one, I don't know if it, I don't think it's really historical fiction. It's more, I think it's more like fantasy, like speculative fiction. Barcelona, 1945. There's a mysterious book, but then someone is like as he's looking for the book, someone is like burning and destroying all of them. So again, I've heard good things about it, but I've actually like tried to unhaul this book multiple times, and then I keep hearing like how it's so good. I just don't reach for it. I'm sorry. Another huge historical fiction, Ken Follett, and these books I know are going to be good, and that's why I buy them. it's just not my favorite, and they don't read as fast. That's why I don't like to read them. So The Pillars of the Earth, this is supposed to be like an epic historical fiction. Yeah. The story of Philip, prior of Kingsbridge, a devout and resourceful monk driven to build the greatest Gothic cathedral the world has known. And then, of course, a lot of other characters as well. Is 2025 the year? Maybe. Then I have The Magnolia Palace, another historical fiction. This was a used book that I bought. So this is like after the Spanish flu in 1919. So Gilded Age, New York City. Probably be great. So I feel like right now I'm going through the books that I'm like, I'm probably not going to read these. I'm going to try. I am. The Red Tent. So this is historical fiction of like Jacob's daughter, Dinah. And her 12 brothers. You may know, the 12 tribes. All right. Champagne break. Could use a little juice, We went bowling today. They gave us champagne at the bowling alley to do a champagne toast, but then they didn't warn us when it was coming because they normally do like a countdown to like midnight. And they didn't tell us when it was coming. So we were like literally running to get our champagne. That was chaotic. Anyway, just a memory of the day. All right, then my horror books. I have Pet Sematary, Christine, and Cujo. So these are all Stephen King books. And I really liked these covers. These will probably be read either Summerween, which happens in, I think, July, or October. So just in like 10 months, I might read those. And then for the fantasy genre, I have the rest of the Mistborn series. So I read the original trilogy, and these are the other 4. So Alive Law would be the next one. So these are the Wax and Wane books. I don't know, guys. For the nonfiction portion, I have Killing Crazy Horse by Bill O'Reilly and Martin Dugard. This is my dad's copy. This has been on my TBR for a minute, but I think once I've read this, I don't know if they're done with the Killing series. But this is the last I have to read of the ones that are out. So kind of excited about that. Ready to close that chapter. They are really good though. Then I have Long Live. So this is like a fan-made, the definitive guide to the folklore and fandom of Taylor Swift. And it's beautiful. So if anybody needs a primer on Taylor Swift and wants to borrow it, oh my gosh, so excited. So I don't know that much of this is going to be new information for me, but just what a fun book to own. It's so exciting. And this was just published, so it has the Eras Tour set list, and I'm excited. So cute. Cutie. And then for the Sharon Says So book club, we're reading Challenger, which is about the explosion of the Challenger and a lot more, apparently. So I think I'll be reading this in February. I'm really excited for this one. So it's a little chunky, but it's an interesting topic. As someone who was raised on Apollo 13, that movie was life, right? And also why I'm terrified of space. But the fear of it also makes it more fun, right? All right, now I have a pile of fiction, and then I have a pile of books that I'm going to try to read in January. So I was trying to keep them separate. And this is just an aside. I bought this book, The Grave is a Fine and Private Place, but look, it like printed wrong. It's like printed on an angle, and I'm so sorry, but this is not something that I can get by. It's just like the whole thing is shifted. And I hate it. And I paid cash money for it, you know? So I'm going to have to return it. I have already read this, though. Flavia de Luce. I just really love this series. All right. Speaking of heartbreak, A Little Life. So I've had multiple people say this is like their favorite book ever, so I feel like I need to read it. It's chunky, and there's a man in agony on the front, so I'm sure I will cry. I have Trust by Hernan Diaz. I don't know why I own this. I feel like it has good reviews, but it was just such a random like purchase, so I gotta read it at some point. I don't know what it's even about. I still don't feel like I understand when I'm reading the back. So everyone in New York has heard of Benjamin and Helen Rask. Together they've risen to the top of the world, but at what cost have they acquired their immense fortune? This is the mystery of the Center of Bonds, a successful 1937 novel, and that all of New York seems to have read, yet there are other versions of this tale of privilege and deceit. Spanning a century, the book puts 4 competing narratives into conversation with another. I don't know. I have no idea what that book is about. Now is Not the Time to Panic is by Kevin Wilson, who's the writer of Nothing to See Here, which is such a good book. This is a teeny tiny book, and I don't know why I haven't read it yet. Some of it is that I just feel that it cannot hold up to Nothing to See Here. I've heard good things about it, though. It's just Nothing to See Here is so good. Still have Flowers in the Attic on the list. It's still there. Don't you worry. And I still have Mystic Lake and The Things We Do for Love. Backlogged Kristen Hanna books. Still here. You have to read them this year. I also have The Secret History because I have heard that this is such a great dark academia. So, under the influence of a charismatic classics professor, a group of clever, eccentric misfits at a New England college discover a way of thought and life, a world away from their banal contemporaries. But their search for the transcendent leads them down a dangerous path beyond human constructs of morality. I do love dark academia. So, that's the physical TBR for like February and beyond. Now, for January, and these will not all be read in January. I would have to take time off of work to read all these because it's a lot of books and they're not thin. But I want to read them. Okay. This just came in the mail. This is Glow of the Everflame. This is the second book in Spark of the Everflame. I will probably be starting this tomorrow. Okay. Spark of the Everflame was so good. And it was very much a book. Oh gosh, look at how gorgeous this is. It was very much a book that it was like, it feels like it's good, but it's setting you up for something even better, you know? Like, gosh. And these books were good enough that they were like self-published and then like they're being republished now. So that's why I can get, even though the 4th book was like technically released, I can get the 2nd book, and the 3rd book I could pre-order. So, I'm excited about that one. I have Heartbreak as a National Anthem, How Taylor Swift Reinvented Pop Music. So Rob Sheffield works for like the New York Times or someone, and he's a music journalist, and so he's been like following her around and writes about her. It's not that big of a book, so I'm excited. An Education in Malice. Okay, so the theme for January is spooky, creepy. I love a speculative fiction. I think they're my favorite. So like Adrienne Young, Aaron Craig. I just love them. So An Education in Malice, I've heard such good things about this. This is by S.T. Gibson. So there's a women's college. It's not for timid girls. And there's an academic rivalry. I think it's based on Carmilla of like Dracula. Carmilla. Which I have not read. So it's going to be delightful. The 13th Tale by Aaron Craig. What has she all written? House of Salt and Sorrow, Small Favors, and House of Roots and Ruins. So just all like creepy fairy tale retellings kind of. So this is another one, and I love fairy tale retellings. So I'm excited for this one. This is my December book of the month, so this is a brand new book. I have Where the Library Hides by Isabel Ibanez. What the River Knows was a 5-star last year. So I am excited to finish the duology. Oh, maybe this one should be my January 1st book. I don't know. I'm excited. Dinner for Vampires by Bethany Joy Lenz. I am a diehard OTH. Love One Tree Hill with my whole heart. Love Bethany Joy Lenz. Nathan and Haley were the real MVPs, honestly. Like, they carried that show. Sorry, Brooke is still the best. So this is about her being in a cult in real life. And I've heard the audiobook is amazing, but I feel like I know her voice well enough that I could probably just listen to, or I could just read it myself. I don't know. And then I have An Academy for Liars by Alexis Henderson. I honestly don't know anything about this, but I've heard it's really good. And the buzzword word of the month is Truth and Lies. So Academy for Liars covers that. Lots of people have recommended The Frozen River for me. And yeah, I want to read it. So yeah, it's about a renowned 18th century midwife who defied the legal system and wrote herself into American history. Midwives. So now, like, look how beautiful that cover is too. And it feels like a January book. Then one of my favorite booktubers to follow is Alexandra Roslin. And she said this was her favorite book of 2024. So I want to read it. And it fits my spooky vibe. I have no idea what it's about. But look at the inside of this book. Gosh. Something about twisted fairy tales, and you got me. You got me. Speaking of skeletons on the cover, I told you I like it. And this book is like full of like black pages, which, gosh, I love that too, okay? I love a pretty book. So someone can manipulate emotions. Someone doesn't mean to fall in love. Sorry. The trigger warnings, I feel like, tell me what I need to know. What does it say here? Contents are very dark, triggering situations such as non-dub con between the main characters, etc., etc. Okay, I'm in. And then for some book clubs that do not fit the spooky at all, The Kitchen House, which I'm sure is about slaves, and the Ina Garten memoir. So this is the Sharon Says So Book Club book that I'm supposed to be reading now for this month, and then we'll do a Zoom call with Ina Garten. So I don't really know much about her, but I'm into it. Like I've heard that it is entertaining even if you are not like a big I'm a fan. And I'm not a fan because of anything. I just don't really know anything about her. So that's my TBR. My physical one. That is way too many books, isn't it? Yeah, it's way too many books. It's like 45 books or something ridiculous. I don't really want to know. Which I guess is only like a quarter of my TBR. Okay. It makes me feel a little bit better. Mabel's like snoring right now, in case you're wondering. I also have a little book called Onyx Storm coming this month. I don't know if you've heard of it. I think that's a book that I will read the moment I open the mail. There is Sunrise on the Reaping is the Hamish story for the Hunger Games. That's already pre-ordered. I've got a few other pre-orders. I'm not 1,000% sure what they are. The one is, I don't know what it's called, but it's the next one in the Fate of something of Bones. A Fate Inked in Blood? A Fate Inked in Blood, which was like my Viking romantasy that I read last year that was 5 stars. 6 out of 5. Like, so good. And so the second one is coming out. So that one's pre-ordered. Yeah, so lots of good reading. All right, I'm going to go finish some things for the year, and then I need to start thinking about what my favorite books are of the year. So exciting. Bye.